On the island of Newfoundland, upon the southwest coast, lies the little town of Virgil, to whom I'll sing this toast. There are so many highlands that lie just off her shore, and when the cold north wind blows, you can hear the billows roar. The people from the village make their living from the sea. They like their independence, it shows that they are free. Some fish in their small boats in the wind, the rain and sleet, while others make their living on the offshore trawler fleet. They've known their share of tragedies down through the years, and when the memories overcome, they show their grief with tears. For they have lost some loved ones to the furies of the seas, for heartaches and heartbreaks are locked in memories. This village, it's got beauty carved on its rugged shore. 7 miles of pure white sand, who could ask for more? The mountains and the valleys where the rivers run so fast, and the salmon rise to the sportsman's fly as he makes another cast. Tell the people of this village love their native home, for anyone who goes away most surely will return. Just like that lifelong mystery, the answer you won't know. What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul? What makes this rugged village burn so deeply in your soul?
Good evening, and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight in our stories we have Tiny Town Judges, Geological Research. Please stay tuned for these stories after this.
Wind blowing on my face, sidewalk flying beneath my back. A 5-year-old's first taste of what freedom's really like. You can let go now, Daddy. You can let go. Your little girl is ready to do this on my own. It's gonna be a little bit scary, but I want you to know I'll be okay now, Daddy.
Everlasting love. Pass it on.
You can let go.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
2 judges with Tiny Town were in town on Friday. I had a chance to chat with them at the museum.
I'm Brenda Elford, and my partner is June Patton, and we are here on August the 14th as Tiny Town judges in Virgil. I'm very happy to visit your pretty little town. I'm not quite sure what you need to know here. We evaluate on a fairly extensive evaluation scheme that deals not only with tidiness and flowers, but also environmental awareness projects in the town, how you preserve your natural and your cultural heritage. We look at forest management, landscape areas, turf and ground covers, and under these headings we have everything from a visit to your treatment plant, to your water treatment plant, to fire department questions and questions about organizations in the town. Jen, you want to add anything?
Yes, I'd like to say too how pleased I am to be here. Now, we were certainly welcomed and given a great tour of the town by the town manager and one of the town consultants. We look for things that are different, and when we come into a town like Burgeo, people themselves don't realize just how much they have. We're very impressed today with the layout of the old and new in the town entwined together. The people, which are of course any town's biggest resource, were wonderful, and we were really impressed by a lot of things in the town. Namely, it's so easy to get around once you find, you know, the location of everything, and all the different colors mingled in, and the murals, and the history that I think what's superb in the town are the students that are like here in the museum and other places. They just know so much about what they're out. The town has a very wonderful new water treatment center, which is soon going to be online, and it's just amazing, and we were very pleased to visit that. And perhaps there's something you'd like to ask us.
So what area towns did you visit? Like around, did you just go around the town, or did you go out in all the little crooks and crannies?
I don't think we missed much, really. We had a good drive around, and we had a good discussion before we went, so we knew what we were looking for. But even small things that the residents here probably take for granted, like that footbridge that the town maintains, that's pretty unique to the town. And the Lions Club lifesavers and rescue lines, we've never seen that in any other town. And last night I went out for a drive just as the sun was going down, and all the water spots had beautiful calm reflections of the town houses and that. It was really quite pretty. But I don't know what else can we add.
Well, the town is certainly, you know, well underway, and it's very prepared for any emergency. They've had an excellent emergency plan for the town. They had you get your volunteer fire department. It's just wonderful. There's so many members and so much equipment, and the fact that there's a search and rescue group here, and I noticed there on the fire hall, very good for people coming in your town and everything. They even got the fire call number posted on the doors. And then this wonderful day of cell phones and everything, even a visitor or anything, if they have trouble of any kind, all they got to do is dial the number that's on the fire door, and that's good. And like Brenda says, you know, tidy towns is just not about flowers and lawns and everything. But we do have to say that the lawns here in Burgeo are really exquisite in their colour and in their maintenance.
Yeah, very lush.
Yeah. And the whole town is just steeped in history and tradition and your heritage. And we were up at the community graveyard, and even to know that the town employs somebody, you know, to look after the graveyard, that graveyard, and as well as the old graveyards. I mean, we've never seen that before. So we were really impressed with a lot of areas. And we were really, you know, like the town manager, like I said, and one of the town consultants brought us right through the town, in addition to what Brenda and I had toured, and they left no corner unturned, and we were really impressed with everything. It's really a lovely place to live.
So, but how many towns do you visit?
The towns are divided by size, so there's a population category. which lumps together all the towns this size under the evaluation of 2 judges. So regardless of where they are, that's where we go. This year there are, I think, 6 in this category?
Yes.
Yes? Last year we had 8 that took us everywhere, from Stony Brook to Makovic and east too. So what we're comparing when we come here is we're comparing Burgeo to other towns the same size and what they're doing, right? So, yeah, it's been interesting. I know that the road came after the houses, but I just love the way that some of the buildings are clinging to the rocks here. It's very picturesque.
So this is your first trip to Burgeo?
Both of us,
Yes.
actually, and very, very, very glad that we came. There's a little 7 to 11 group here, a Starfish Oceanette town-sponsored group, and we've seen some of their work, including their recycled crafts and things like that. And it's really good to get at the young people, reach the young people with this these environmental concerns. So.
Very good. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, just to thank the town for having us and treating us to lunch, and it's been a pleasure. We have to leave, but it's been a pleasure. I'm glad we got here.
It was well worth the drive.
Well, thank you
And
so
we
much.
certainly tell other people to come visit Burgeo.
Okay, good. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A couple of people from out of town have come to Burgeo to dig up their roots. I caught up with them at the Anglican Churchyard Cemetery. Good day. What are you doing in town today with the cemeteries?
Oh, we're having a great day, a sunny day in Burgeo. What more can you ask for?
So you're digging up some old headstones?
Yes, actually, I was here years and years ago and remember way more headstones in this churchyard. And so we've trying to find some relatives that are buried here. And we checked with Kay Cosser and John Savory on the cemetery committee, and they showed us a plot map, and we can see that some were buried, so that were on the plot map, and so we're just trying to find some of those ones, and while we're finding those, we're finding additional ones that weren't even listed or discovered that have probably been buried maybe 30, 40 years. Some even longer. We just found a really disintegrated one that's probably been buried maybe even 100 years ago.
Okay. So what's your connection to Burgeo?
Oh, I have a great connection to Burgeo. This is where my heart's always been. My mother, Sybil Matthews, was born here. She is part of the family of John Matthews and Elizabeth Jane Matthews, and most of the people in town probably know my uncle, Uncle Aubrey. He was a school teacher here, and I've talked to quite a few people already that were taught by him, so I think he's pretty well known in this area, and Uncle Alan as well. He had a general store here for years and years. And so as a child, I came back with my mother, and my father actually is from here too, Louis Crew. And the Crews lived on Deer Island mostly, but after the war, my father and mother moved to Halifax, so that's where I was born. But as a child, I think I was 2 years old when I first came here, and I've been here almost every other summer since 2, visiting. I'd stay with my grandmother and my Aunt Stella and Uncle Aubrey and Uncle Alan, and my cousin Bud, Alan Stone, and Mary, his wife. You know, we'd visit, and are visiting actually right now, because that's all we have left, and a handful of more distant cousins. But it's just, it's my heritage. This is where I'm from. This is where my roots are from. So it's always good to come home.
Okay. Explain to me some of the ones that you've got already dug up.
Okay, well right here, I'm standing by in this gated little area. John Matthews, and it says senior. He was 62 when he died in 1866. So my Uncle Aubrey, this is his wife also, Frances Matthews, who was Frances Dix. And my Uncle Aubrey used to think that this was the original John Matthews that came to this area, but actually this was his son, and the original one was much older than him. We were told he was from Devon, England. And so he's a senior to his son, John. There's quite a few John. I think I have 12 John Matthews in my pedigree file. So this is one of them, my great-great-great-grandfather, I think it is. And these are, a lot of these here are his sons, and there's a daughter over here that died very young. You'll see William, he was only 24 years old when he died. His brother Henry, who was 29 years old, he died 1864 and he died 1869, or it might be 59. Yeah, 1859. This is his another brother, Samuel. He was only 21, so you can see they died very young, you know, probably at sea or fishing. Over here is George Matthews. He was only 20. These are all children of John and Frances Dix. He was only 20 years old. He also died in 1859. You know, very, very young. And yeah, this is Henry. I was just going to see if it was the same date, but it's not. But it was the same year they both died. He was 29 and he was 20. And over here is Harriet. Very hard to read. But because I know the name so well through research, I could recognize it right away. It's Harriet, who was also their daughter, and she married Walter Ford. I believe he was an Englishman that came over. And she died fairly young, too. And over here, that wasn't on the church list at all that we discovered on the cemetery inscription, is John Matthews. And I don't believe it was their son. I think it was another relative. He died in 1876, and these are so valuable to know because the records were lost, you know, from 1871 to 1870, you know, beginning of 1879. So when we are able to find headstone inscriptions with someone that died in the 1870s particularly, it's very, very valuable because it's our only source, unless someone has maybe a family Bible records, you know, that they might have. And this was great. This is Susanna Dix. And she died in 1876. She was Susanna Keynes, another relative of mine. My grandmother was Sarah Keynes. And she died at 89 years old. And so she was born, I think it's 1886, I figured, because she died in January, so she probably was born in 1786. We have one older than this here, and that's Gabriel Biller down there, who was, I think, born in 1784. So just really exciting to have them unveiled again. You know, it's such wonderful information, and it's family, and they've been covered up because of the conditions, I think, of the ground. It's a hard to maintain these graveyards because of the weather conditions and the type of soil that you have. Things seem to sink down. It's just wonderful to find them here.
So how long have you been at this?
Well, we've been here almost a good week and a half, and I think I could be here all summer and have lots to do. But it's just doing my genealogy research, actually. I've been doing it since 1970s, but heavily the last couple of years, and just feel so connected as I learn about their lives and these people and the conditions that they live. This was a hard place to live in the early days, and I just have such great admiration for them that they did as well as they did here and sustained life. Wonderful memories.
Well, thank you so much for giving us your information.
Oh, you're welcome.
See? This is where it probably was, huh? Here's another one, look. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's another one.
It has a certain sound.
Now that's a little piece of it. Yeah, and that's the piece out here. I think this is the front. If this is the back, there's nothing on it.
Well, let me look though, look. Look how this has the wavy
okay.
stuff, so I don't know.
We gotta be very careful. This one is in pieces.
Let's put it together the way it was then. Let's put it up here for right now till we get it all washed off.
See that?
Oops, yeah, see it's all broken apart.
Be careful though.
Did you just lift it up because it's no good like it is anyway.
No,
We'll just lay it.
This is the most broken.
Right here.
You said it.
Are we out this way around it?
No.
Okay, It goes out to here, look, about here.
Yeah, let's just, I have a little tool we can use.
Here's another part. It is literally disintegrated.
Yeah, this is an old.
This is the oldest, and it is so
Yeah,
old.
we've never had one in this bad a shape. You know, most of them are fairly decent, or may have a crack, but this looks, you know, this is maybe a Vatcher.
Yeah, I'd say it is. I don't think
Careful,
we're
careful.
not around it.
See,
are we?
here's
Just,
another little
just
part.
wait, just wait, just wait.
Yeah, let's get that. See, this will pull right out, right here.
Oh, this one we'll probably put downstairs in the basement.
I wouldn't, Reverend, they shouldn't do that.
Well, that's where the others are.
Just turn them over and leave them here.
Yeah, let the church do that. See, I'm not sure we should even take this out.
Yeah, we'll ask.
There's nothing down there.
Well,
That's the end. That's the end of it, isn't it?
yeah, it's just literally dissolved
Right, let me get up here.
right here.
Here's another piece, see? It goes next to it. It's right on that bottom part.
Right here I can.
And this is all powder, look. You never get it out.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to read this one. Oh, dang.
Let's turn it over and see if there's anything on the side.
No, I don't.
How about that top piece, Brenda? Is that which side is up there now?
This is the right side.
That's the reading side.
Yeah.
Put a little
See-
water and
See how it's carved right here?
Yeah, the rolls.
Where's the little brush?
In the bucket.
Let me just check the back of it. It looks smooth in the back.
Yeah. Just wash it off.
I don't feel any.
No.
Yeah. No, no letters.
That's all crumbled, isn't it? The whole.
See, if you take a little piece of it, it's just like table salt. It's been pressed together.
Oh, that's too bad. That's probably a really old one. Oh, I don't see anything readable.
I say.
And that looks like a flower coming up there. It doesn't, you know.
Well, you'll have to look at it.
Nothing there, no?
Let me watch it. Oh, yeah, something. Oh, so far gone. Maybe this is gone now.
That could be Richard Baxter or somebody like that.
Yeah.
There it ends, huh?
Wow.
See how far this one goes, and I'll start digging this side.
Oh, there. Haven't you got that one?
No, we don't have all the information yet. See? There we go. One more. Go down a little lower.
Still down there, see?
Yeah, that was.
A little lower.
That's deep. That's deep, Brenda. Just scrub off. Just take off enough to.
Well, why don't you leave that for last?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do this one first.
Put another blanket on Buddy.
Yeah, he's now wet enough. It's like camping in the rain for him.
Okay.
But we wondered who this Bag's married. If he married an English girl.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, broken.
There's a broken part here.
Yeah, it's crumbled over.
And sometimes you pick them up and there's weeds actually growing through a crack,
Yeah.
like, you know?
Yeah.
This is where there's a bad section.
Yeah.
It looks like... Now look at this. It's curving in again. Is that because it's...
The corner's gone off of it.
Yeah, let's hope that this has got most of the writing right here.
Yeah, it would be, I think.
On the bottom, going to be a verse with a few lines in there. Rest in peace, you poor
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
In fact,
I just want to move that up.
up in the Matthews up here,
Yeah.
all the Matthews we found at the bottom You can tell they're related because it always, they have one verse.
The same one.
We part till we meet again. We part till we meet again.
By the time of the day, so I don't want to see you no more.
No. Brenda, let me get down there and slide my shovel up under there.
Whoa! This is,
I had that on yesterday because I burned my head so much.
Yeah, oh yeah.
yeah, it just looks like that one spot. Whoops, sorry.
Yeah, no, there's a big crack, though.
Right there.
Yeah.
Can you pull this glove up so that I don't have to with my dirty hand? And then that will help me just a sec. Whoa.
Come on now. You're lower, yeah.
It goes one feet.
Oh, Jesus.
Look at the writing.
Yeah, it's in the mud.
Come over here, Maxine, on this side.
Martha?
Yeah, but this is a manual here. See, no, Susan. She was
Oh, she must have been Susan Matthews.
she was a niece. She's in Matthews, but she's a niece. She's not one of the original daughters.
Of one of the brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and some of it is on here. Some of it is on the pieces.
See, you can see it on the bottom, huh? Yeah. Right. The part you want is all disintegrated under that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, darn.
That's 19, but.
Well, if she was a daughter of one of the original girls, she probably wouldn't be born on it in the 1840s, would she?
Yeah.
Or
Susan.
the original. She's the daughter of the granddaughter of John the First.
This concludes our program for tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.